Nowadays, with more and more food additives in our diets and technologically advanced farming and food processing methods, you can be more vulnerable to nutritional deficiencies. Taking nutritional supplements, in addition to following a healthful diet and regular exercise routine, is one way to take control of your health. But are supplements regulated enough? Are strict standards in place to ensure customer product safety, purity, quality, and effectiveness? Dr. Joseph Mercola sits down with 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗴 of RFI, which manufactures many of the highest quality supplements for Mercola, to discuss the regulation of dietary supplements.
We're going to talk a little bit about regulation in the supplement industry, and I believe that there's a common perception by many, and I think largely related to the fact that many federal authorities, certainly critics of natural medicine, state really clearly and strongly believe that there's not enough regulation in the supplement industry. But I think if you look carefully at the facts, it speaks strongly against it. I wonder if you could comment on the amount of regulation that we see in the food industry versus compare that to the supplement industry and the drug industry.
Glad to. First, welcome, Dr. Mercola. Thank you for visiting our Loveland, Colorado facility. We're very happy to have you here. So it is what I perceive as a misnomer that the supplements industry is not a regulated industry. We're absolutely regulated. The industry is regulated by a federal regulation known as 21 CFR Part 111, which establishes GMP requirements, good manufacturing practices, for the supplements industry. We're also regulated by a law that went into effect in October of 1994 called DSHEA, Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, that established the framework for acceptability of dietary supplements. So there are federally mandated regulations that determine not only what is a dietary supplement, but also what constitutes the proper, safe, and efficacious practices for delivering a supplement to the consumer. The GMPs established for dietary supplement are as rigorous or more rigorous than those for the food chain. So the food supply is regulated by 21 CFR Part 110, establishes the GMPs for food, while Part 111 for dietary supplement is just as rigorous or more so than those for food, and probably only slightly less rigorous than those facing the pharmaceutical industry. So the notion that supplements aren't regulated is, in my opinion, a false one.
So you mentioned GMP standards, and I think many people have heard of that, which is, I believe, short for General Manufacturing Practices.
Yes. Could
Could you comment a little bit more specifically about what those are and how those relate to the supplement industry?
Sure. So good manufacturing practices are a whole set of rules, standards, and protocols by which manufacturers of dietary supplements need to establish their practices.
And those are recently implemented?
They've been implemented over the period of the past 6 or 7 years since they went into effect. So
but phased in over time?
They've been phased in over time, but now the rule is valid for just about everyone. There is no exemptions anymore really for putting into practice good manufacturing practices. So these rules establish the standards, meaning procedures, quality processes, identification, analysis, how you train and hire employees, how you handle the maintenance and preventive maintenance of your equipment, how you do the identification, how you ensure safety of the products, and how you ensure the purity and authenticity of the product. Those are very, very important parts to that. So safety, purity, and authenticity of the products are very important building blocks for the set of rules that are in place.
And to enforce compliance to these standards, is there some type of auditing system that goes on a regular basis, and can you discuss that and how that works?
Yes, so the FDA is mandated by Congress to enforce those rules, and they have field agents and departments throughout the country, and they come out and audit and inspect facilities, and they write up and sometimes even shut down facilities who are grossly negligent in maintaining or don't maintain any kind of GMPs at all. The way many manufacturers go about handling the changing regulatory environment is many companies in their preparation for audits will hire third-party auditing companies. These are companies that are also up to date with the most current regulations and are entrusted to come in and help manufacturers to establish those procedures and protocols so that they are prepared for a federal audit or an FDA or other audit when they do come.
Okay, somewhat like taking in high school the PSAT in preparation for the SAT for
That's a good example,
into college. So it's a prep test. And do many companies engage these test audit firms?
They're becoming more and more popular, yes, and we certainly do. At RFI, we employ a third-party auditing organization, and we have in all of our facilities, we are now third-party certified. We have every 6 months regular audits, and we have inspections going on regularly that our QC and QA department put together on a regular basis.
So this is not required or mandated at this time, but it's just in preparation for a potential FDA audit, which in some ways is somewhat like an IRS audit. You know, they certainly don't audit everyone, and it's random and infrequent, I guess.
Well, actually, yeah. The difference is between the FDA and IRS is the FDA doesn't have to give you notice when they're going to give you an audit. They can show up whenever they please. But yes, it's kind of like a training program. The rules are actually such that to be GMP compliant, you don't need to have a third-party auditor. Mm-hmm. You are certifying yourself. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, most companies will engage, or many companies will engage with a third-party auditor because it really is very helpful to have that rigor being tested. The third-party auditor acts almost as if they were an agent and come in and put you through the process.
So it seems like you would be in agreement that these GMP procedures and policies that have been recently established, relatively recently, and implemented and enforced for just about every company, our supplement company, is a good idea. However, the compliance to that is really somewhat challenging because the FDA doesn't have the resources to go and audit every supplement company. So it would be a wise recommendation, if you're going to be taking supplements, to find one that is GMP compliant. They have to be, otherwise if they aren't, they would be, if they have an audit, they'll be out of business. But to find one that does this voluntary third-party objective certification audit once or twice a year, and that would be a good indication that they've passed these relatively reasonable regulations to follow, because it ensures your compliance to a standard that will provide high-quality supplements, and that in fact meets all the standards of any policy, whether it's supplements or foods or manufacturing any type of goods.
Absolutely. So a lot of people think that regulations are intrusive mm-hmm. and difficult, and certainly they cause much greater layers of complexity in terms of the way we manage and handle our business, but we absolutely welcome them. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason we welcome them is that we feel like we're well suited to handle the changing environment for regulations. We've invested a lot of time and resource into building those kinds of capabilities, and so we welcome that kind of program, and we're happy to be compliant with it. We also feel that it's a great step forward for us in the way we work with our clients and allow them and help them also become compliant with this new and complex terrain for regulations. So we welcome it, actually.
All right. Well, we're just delighted that you're following those processes that will ensure us that we are providing people with the highest quality supplement possible. And if someone is interested in purchasing a supplement, certainly I would strongly recommend to seriously consider doing the due diligence and finding a company that is in fact engaging these voluntary third-party audits to the GMP procedures, because it's going to be a really powerful indication that you are really following steps and procedures that's going to maintain that you're producing a high-quality supplement.
Stay tuned for more informational videos about Mercola.com's partnership with RFI Manufacturing and our commitment to quality by helping you take better control of your health.